What it's like to be every KKK. Rank level 1. The recruit. You're 19 years old. You live in a small town in rural America. The factory closed 5 years ago. Your dad lost his job. Your mum works 2 part-time jobs that barely pay the bills. You dropped out of community college because you couldn't afford it. You're angry. You're looking for someone to blame. One night, you're at a bar. A guy named Dale strikes up a conversation. He's older, maybe 45. He talks about how the country is changing, how people like you are being left behind, how the government doesn't care about working-class Americans anymore. He makes it sound like there's a conspiracy, like someone is deliberately destroying your way of life. He doesn't mention race at first. He's smarter than that. He talks about economics, jobs, culture, traditional values. He makes you feel like you're part of something important, like you understand things other people don't see. After a few weeks, Dale invites you to a meeting, just a group of guys who think like you do, people who care about heritage and history. You go. It's in someone's garage. There are 12 men there. They're drinking beer. They're talking about politics, about immigration, about crime statistics they claim the media won't report. Then Dale explains what the group really is. The Ku Klux Klan. You've heard of them. You know the history, the violence, the lynchings, the terrorism. But Dale says that was the past. He says the modern Klan is different. A civil rights organization for white people. A heritage group, not a hate group. You should leave. You know this is wrong, but you're lonely. You're angry. And these men are telling you that your problems aren't your fault. They're giving you someone to blame, someone to hate. You stay, and that decision will define the rest of your life. Level 2. The Klansman. You've been initiated. The ceremony happened at night in a field outside town. There were 30 men wearing white robes and hoods. They burned a cross. They recited oaths about defending white Christian civilization. They told you that you're part of a brotherhood now, a sacred mission. You're given your own robe and hood, white cotton. The hood has eye holes cut out. When you put it on, you feel powerful, anonymous, like you can do things you'd never do with your face showing. Your job as a basic Klansman is simple. You attend meetings, you pay dues, $50 a month. You participate in demonstrations, and the Klan still does rallies in some places. You stand on street corners holding signs. White lives matter. Defend your heritage. People yell at you, call you racist. But the other Klansmen tell you that's proof you're right, that you're threatening the system. You also recruit. You look for young men like you were, angry, lost, economically struggling. You befriend them. You radicalize them slowly. You never lead with hate. You lead with grievance, with victimhood, with the idea that they're under attack. And you start to believe the ideology. At first you told yourself you weren't really racist. You just cared about preserving culture. But the deeper you get, the more extreme the rhetoric becomes. The meetings aren't just about heritage anymore. They're about racial superiority, about violence, about a coming race war. And you hear older members talk about the good old days, when the Klan had millions of members, when they controlled entire towns, when they could lynch a black man and no one would investigate. They talk about it with nostalgia, with pride. And you start to see violence not as a crime, but as a tradition. You've been in for 6 months. You've participated in 3 rallies. You've recruited 2 new members. The leadership notices. They're grooming you for something more. Level 3. The Nighthawk. You've been promoted. You're now a Nighthawk. Your job is security and intelligence. You're the Klan's eyes and ears. You monitor threats. You gather information on enemies. You plan security for events. This means you learn to use guns. The Klan has training sessions in the woods, AR-15s shotguns, handguns. Night they call it self-defense training. But everyone knows what it really is. Preparation for violence. You also learn counterintelligence, how to spot undercover agents. The FBI has been infiltrating the Klan since the 1960s. The leadership is paranoid. They teach you to check for wires, to vary your routes, to use code words, to never say anything incriminating over the phone. Your other job is intimidation. When someone in the community speaks out against the Klan, you handle it. Not with violence, not yet, but with presence. You show up at their workplace. You let them see you watching their house. You make them afraid without breaking any laws. But sometimes it goes further. The leadership identifies targets, people they want silenced. Activists, journalists, black community leaders. You're part of the team that plans operations. You scout locations. You gather intelligence. You create opportunities. One night, the leadership gives you an assignment. There's a black pastor who's been organizing against the Klan, speaking at town halls, writing editorials, making noise. They want you to send a message, not to hurt him, just to scare him. You and 3 other Nighthawks drive to his church at 2 a.m. You pour gasoline on the front steps. You light it. The fire spreads fast. The church burns. No one is inside. But the message is clear. You're a terrorist now. You committed arson, a hate crime, and you felt powerful doing it. Level 4. The Exalted Cyclops. You're 25 years old. You've been in the Klan for 6 years. You've proven yourself loyal, dedicated, willing to do what others won't. You've been promoted to Exalted Cyclops. You're the leader of your local chapter. You control about 40 members. Your job is management. You run the meetings. You collect dues. You coordinate with other chapters. You plan rallies and demonstrations. You approve new members. You discipline members who step out of line. You also handle recruitment strategy. The Klan can't operate openly like it did in the 1920s. Society has changed, so you adapt. You create front groups, heritage organizations, civil rights groups for white people. You recruit on college campuses. You use social media. You spread propaganda online where it's harder to trace. You teach your members how to talk to the media, how to sound reasonable, how to avoid saying anything that sounds overtly racist. You use euphemisms, Western civilization instead of white supremacy, demographic replacement instead of racial purity. You make hate sound intellectual, but behind closed doors, the rhetoric is explicit. You talk about race war, about the need to defend white people from extinction, about the inferiority of other races. You dehumanize black people, Jewish people, immigrants. You turn them into enemies, into threats that must be eliminated. You're making money now. The Klan operates like a business. Members pay dues. You sell merchandise, flags, t-shirts, books. You organize fundraisers. Some of that money goes up the chain to the national leadership, but you take a cut, about $2,000 a month, and you have power. In your small town, people know who you are. The sheriff is sympathetic. 2 city council members are Klan. Business owners pay you protection money to avoid trouble. You're not just a leader of a hate group, you're a local power broker, but the FBI is watching. They have informants in your chapter. You don't know who. Could be anyone. Your closest friend could be wearing a wire. You're paranoid. You sleep with a gun under your pillow. Level 5. The Grand Dragon. You're 32. You've risen to Grand Dragon. You oversee an entire state's worth of Klan chapters. That's about 15 chapters and 600 members. You're one of the most powerful men in the organization. Your job is coordination and expansion. You manage the Exalted Cyclops leaders. You plan statewide events. You build alliances with other white supremacist groups, neo-Nazis, skinheads, militia movements. The ecosystem of hate is bigger than just the Klan. You also manage the money. The Klan generates about $500,000 a year in your state. Dues, merchandise, donations. Some of it is legitimate. Some of it comes from criminal activity, drugs, illegal weapons sales, extortion. You launder the money through shell companies, fake charities. You're not just a terrorist. You're a criminal enterprise leader, and you're a propagandist. You run websites, podcasts, YouTube channels that get taken down and recreated under new names. You spread conspiracy theories. You radicalize thousands of people online who will never attend a meeting but will absorb your ideology. You're creating the next generation of white supremacists. But you're also a target. The Southern Poverty Law Center has your name, your photo, your address. They've published reports about you. You've received death threats. You've been doxxed online. Your family has been harassed. Your wife left you because she couldn't handle the attention. Your kids don't talk to you, and the legal pressure is increasing. The FBI has you under surveillance. They're building a RICO case, racketeering, conspiracy, civil rights violations. They want to dismantle the entire organization, and you're one of the top targets. You think about getting out, taking your money and disappearing. But you can't. You know too much. If you leave, you're either a threat to the organization or a potential informant. Either way, you're dead. Level 6, the Imperial Wizard. There's one more level, Imperial Wizard, the national leader of the Ku Klux Klan. There have been many over the decades, men who built the organization, men who committed unspeakable acts of violence and terror. The current Imperial Wizard operates from the shadows. He doesn't do media interviews. He doesn't attend rallies. He's learned from the mistakes of previous leaders who became too public and got arrested or assassinated. He manages the organization like a corporation. He franchises chapters. He licenses the Klan name. He takes a percentage of all dues. He's making millions of dollars off hate, but he's also a relic. The Klan's membership has declined from millions in the 1920s to maybe 3,000 active members today. Society has changed. The Klan is widely recognized as a terrorist organization. Their symbols are banned in many places. Their ideology is rejected by the majority. But the hate hasn't disappeared. It's evolved. It's moved online. It's rebranded. The same ideology that drove the Klan now drives newer movements. The alt-right, neo-Nazis, white nationalist groups. The Klan's legacy of violence and terror continues even as the organization itself fades. You will never reach this level. You're just a foot soldier in a dying movement, a movement built on a foundation of violence, hatred, and lies. Level 7, the Reckoning. You're 35 years old. You've been in the Klan for 16 years. You've done terrible things. You've intimidated people. You've burned churches. You've spread hate. You've recruited vulnerable young men into a terrorist organization. And now you're sitting in a federal courtroom. The FBI finally built their case. RICO charges, conspiracy to commit hate crimes, arson, assault. They have recordings, testimony from informants, financial records. You're facing 25 years in federal prison. Your lawyer tells you to take a deal, plead guilty, cooperate. Maybe you can get 15 years instead. But cooperating means betraying the organization. And the Klan has reach even in prison. Informants don't live long. You think about the life you wasted. You joined because you were angry and lost. They gave you purpose. They gave you identity. They gave you enemies to hate, so you didn't have to face your own failures. But the ideology was always a lie. The Klan didn't make you powerful. It made you a criminal. It didn't give you brotherhood. It gave you paranoia and violence. It didn't preserve anything. It only destroyed communities, lives, souls. You think about the people you hurt, the black families who had to flee their homes because of your intimidation, the pastor whose church you burned, the young men you recruited who are now facing the same charges you are. The jury deliberates for 6 hours. They come back. Guilty on all counts. The judge sentences you to 20 years in a federal penitentiary, no parole. You're led out in handcuffs. You see your mother in the courtroom. She's crying. You destroyed her life too. She raised you better than this, but hate found you, and you let it consume you. The end. The truth. The Ku Klux Klan was founded in 1865 by Confederate veterans in Pulaski, Tennessee. Over the next 160 years, they would be responsible for thousands of lynchings, murders, bombings, and acts of terrorism against Black Americans, Jewish people, Catholics, immigrants, and anyone they deemed a threat to white supremacy. At their peak in the 1920s, they had 4 to 6 million members. They controlled politicians. They held massive rallies. They operated openly and with impunity. Today, their membership has dwindled to a few thousand. But their ideology persists, rebranded, evolved, spread through online platforms and new movements. The Klan represents one of the darkest chapters in American history, a reminder of the damage that hate, when organized and given power, can inflict on society. This video examined their structure not to glorify it, but to understand it, to see how hate movements recruit, how they operate, how they radicalize ordinary people into terrorists. Because understanding how hate works is the first step in fighting it. Somewhere in America, a 19-year-old kid is sitting in a bar. He's angry. He's lost. Someone approaches him, offers him answers, offers him belonging, offers him someone to blame, and the cycle continues, unless we break it.